Hey guys, welcome to a MayaDissection where I go through and fix a student's shot. Now, if you've seen the one before, you'll know what this is all about, but in case this is your first one, what this is basically a different way that we think works for giving students feedback. So instead of me drawing over someone's animation, I ask them to send me the Maya file and I go in and change keys. So it's a bit more practical in the sense that you get a real sort of answer to what you could do to fix a shot. So this was one of our live sessions, and this student won because she got the highest points for that week because of her interaction on the website. So she gets a free pro review. So let's have a look. So this was the hard version of the exercise. So she only had the first couple of keys, and she had to do the breakdowns and fill everything else, which is the name of the exercise. Fill in the gap. So we make this quick, and I'll just quickly give my very first impressions. So this anticipation here, you could see that the chest is going up, but the hips are staying where they are, so we're getting a stretch on the spine. That's one thing. And I think we need sort of a little bit more on this ease out as she comes out. It feels a bit too rigid. I like the idea behind this. Timing is kind of okay, and this is tricky to maintain because it's on the chest space. So this is probably an easy time for you to switch to world space so that you don't lose, get that jittery stuff. And then here, for me, the landing, very difficult with that straight body that goes up. So we need to work on that. And as for this, I think we didn't have a lot of time to register what's going on, so we'll tweak that as well. So let's go in and start tweaking things. So the first thing I'm going to do is just fix this anticipation pose. So I'm just going to switch this all the way back using Tween Machine. So this is what I have here, and instead of her doing that, I'm just going to hold Alt, press up on the keys, maybe shift her slightly, and rotate her out like that. Do it slightly rotation. So instead of her, we'll do something simpler like this. That's one thing. And what I'll do is sort of ease out of this slightly. Maybe grab all these here and shift them to be closer to what it used to look like. Get a bit more flexibility here. Like that. And things I'm looking for, if you notice, is the spacing. So I don't want the head to jump that far. So I'm going to try and find a way to, without her looking like she's out of control of her own head. Maybe the head, this can go like that. That's a bit better. Okay, so for the arm, what I'm going to do is just play around with the elbow so that we get a more flexible. Is this it? No. There it is. It's always inside the character for some reason. So I'm just going to get this to feel a bit more flexible as she starts to come out. And remember, these are really important poses. even if they are sort of midway through. So it just gives a bit more flexibility to the movement. Okay, so I could add an extra key here just to simplify this. And then this could be a so this is on follow chest. So since she's gonna stay here, I would rather I eyeball it and make it world space so that I don't have to worry about the jitteriness of the arm. So let's just put it there. And then let's eyeball it to see that we matched. So that looks fine. And then for the last pose as well, I'm gonna do that. But then I'm just gonna go through here. So this is where we first put it, and then this is where she lets go. So I'll just delete all of these. And then just at this point here, keep it where it was. So there it just stays. And then she lets go. Okay? Now, I want to get a bit more weight here. So as she kind of puts her self over here like that, we need to feel that there's a weight that's kind of pushing her down, and she needs to like maintain slightly. And make sure the foot is not stretching too much. Same thing here. And then as she comes down, we could really play around with her weight coming down a bit, just so that we avoid that standing pose after. So she can be like here. And then this for me doesn't work, so I need to make a new breakdown. Potentially we could just try first getting the hips to be the breakdown and then see what happens. At least spine-wise, that seems to work better. We still need to work on the other parts of the body, but spine-wise, it seems to be okay. So the legs, for instance, this is moving way too fast, so we need to still break it down further, give it enough time to where is it? Oh, it's probably inside the leg itself. Or is it this? Nope. There we go. So now, one thing that will always feel weird is the fact that it's having to go there and then come all the way over there. So not sure if the best way to do this is to then go from this and then try to maybe do a quick smear. So if we hit it as quick as we can, and then on this frame try to figure out a smart way to remember, it's just one frame that we need to get right, so I'm going to try to just fix some of these things here. There we go. We don't need that. Okay. So let's see where the previous frame was and where it ends up. So we need to kind of connect these two points. So this needs to connect to this. So at the moment we can kind of connect, but let's make it even bigger. So something like this. Okay, so that's one thing. Let's do the arm, because that's the other completely visible thing, which is this one. So from here, if we do this, okay, got these, and then this is where we're going to be doing our smear frame. We just put a key on everything so that we have more control. So let's see where the arm ends up. So it's here, and we can push it to be let's try this, and let's go in here. We'd need to scale the gun as well. Just so that it feels like it's part of the okay. Can get more flexibility as well with the hair from the beginning, so she does that. So the hair could sort of do that, so that it kind of like just dangles down. And then obviously we need to, you know, make it look better, but just for explanation wise, this should be enough. So as her hair sort of does that here, do this, and then over here, as this is where it settles, we can just do that. Now, one thing we need to do as well, so if we're doing this, it would be helpful to have some of the poses that come out of the smear to still be traveling from the direction, so that we get a bit more movement. And I know that part of the exercise was that this is where the cut happens, but we need time to settle to see this. So I would probably delay this cut by a fraction, because we can't see her settling down pose. So, and then I would just grab this animation that we have and just shift it. So she settles, and then do a little bit of a moving hold. And then as we get ready to see what she does after the cut, I would keep this as is until the cut, And then for me, this motion here feels a bit awkward as a shot. Doesn't feel like she's shooting. So this is the situation where I would reanimate it from scratch. But I hope that this first part here, if we play that back, sort of feels a bit just slightly more. I think we can also play around with the timing a bit. So let's say from here to there, we kind of slow down. And I would rather we slow down a bit on the antic, but then maybe this part here could benefit from losing this frame. And we could just put them next to each other so that we end up with a bit faster movement. And then from here, probably lose this one and get quicker. And this probably should start to scale a bit here so that we get the sense that something's about to happen speed-wise. There we go. And I would like to drag this out a bit so that we end up with a bit of a slide. And then kind of does that. Okay. Still a bit of a strange little glitch that we have here. And it's because of this. I think we are going a bit too high. So let's go from here to, let's leave this foot actually where it is. Just work with these. So from here, there we go. All right, fix this arm. Okay. So let's see how that looks now. Bit better. Still have some weird shaking happening. Need to figure out why. Let's simplify this bit here. Let's put this on auto tangents first and see what happens. Okay, so this foot extending doesn't help. You need to maintain the same bend. So it lifts off from here, does that. Okay, that might help that foot. Now the other foot. There we go. A bit too. It's a bit too extreme. And let's see how that looks. Yeah, much better. Okay, can you see there's still a bit of shaking going on up here on the chest? So what I'm going to do is just adjust that. Actually, let me use this. Let me see if this helps. So as we go forward, head and spine are adjusting. I'm doing this. And this needs to be a little bit more flexible as well because it was a bit too snappy, I think. It wasn't working for me. So hopefully this should fix that problem. That might be better. Yeah. Let's ignore this last bit here because that would need to be reanimated. And for me, it's more about let's focus on this part. So we can see here, it's a bit clearer now, and the motion works a bit better. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I mean, you can tweak, I think, this first pose here, which is a bit too slow. So I would say maybe we can go quicker into it. And then as she's in here, we can do a bit more to make her feel more alive. But it's the first one that you've done, so I'm glad you tried to do the hard version, and the idea itself works really well. But pay attention to these little frames, and yeah, hope that helps. So till the next one, and good luck.